Hey guys, Jacqueline Fernandez here at the Alert Center. We do have a bunch of stories that just dropped like within the past 20 minutes or so. So I'd like to focus on those for Fernandez Files. So this is basically the stories of the day of today happening now that impact you, impact me, impact our community. So that's what Fernandez Files is all about. Now today we're going to discuss several different topics. We're going to briefly chat about the funeral that was held for Nebraska Trooper McAcy. We did a live hit with our Maria was here and kind of taking us through the procession this morning. We're just going to chat about that briefly, as I mentioned. Jury reaching a verdict in that doctor crash story. Governor Reynolds issuing a statement on a bill that passed about cell phone bans, and a little bit more about Gene Hackman's suspicious death. When we initially got that report, it wasn't considered suspicious, so we're just kind of going over those stories for you as we speak here. So let's head over to our website. You can always head there for the latest information. That's firstalert6.com. So here is our homepage. As I mentioned, the funeral for Trooper McAcy was this morning, and we did have that all live streamed for you, but just kind of wanted to go through some of the photos of Trooper McAcy's funeral, the people who were there attending his funeral, etc. So clearly a big deal this morning. If you were wondering why there was some traffic backed up, this is likely the reason why, at least on I-80. So we did several stories on Trooper Kyle McAcy, and this is his family chatting a little bit about his life, and our Philip Katafimo, I believe, did this story. You know, they were saying that, you know, he was kind of a troublemaker in a funny way, and a good guy, and just, you know, clearly so sad to lose him too soon, we should say that. So that's that first Fernandez file, if you will. And then I'm actually going to, let's see here. All right, let's head over to our next story for Fernandez Files. So I'm going to cut back over again here. So this is the story that just came down, as I mentioned. There he is on your screen here. But the jury reached a verdict in the trial of Omaha doctor charged in a fatal crash. This was in 2023. This on your screen is Dr. Mark Carlson. So he was found guilty of manslaughter today in the death of Anna Bosma, a 22-year-old South Dakota woman. And this conviction does carry a possible sentence of up to 20 years in prison. There is the young woman here who was killed in that high-speed crash on Dodge Street near UNO, and this was on a Friday evening back in 2023. So this is the young woman who unfortunately perished from that accident. Now, investigators did say that Dr. Carlson, who is in his early 60s, we'll head back up to his mugshot here for you, was racing another driver in September of 2023 before losing control of his Mercedes and slamming head-on into Bosma's sedan. We are told that she did die on impact. So again, that is that young woman who is unfortunately no longer with us, but the jury reaching a guilty verdict of manslaughter today in the death of this 22-year-old young lady. All right, let's head over to Iowa. Governor Reynolds issuing a statement on the Iowa House Committee passing a bill limiting cell phone use in schools. So this is very interesting news for us here. I know there were a couple bills out, you know, a lot of people in the Nebraska-Iowa area chatting about this. So here's a quote. Iowa teachers agree that smartphone distraction is a problem in their classrooms. This is a quote from Governor Reynolds. She says and continues, quote, cell phone addiction is not only unhealthy, leading to increased anxiety and depression, it is also limiting student achievement. Schools across Iowa, including these schools, have implemented cell phone restrictions with overwhelmingly positive results. We must prioritize learning in our schools to set Iowa students up for success after graduation, end quote. So that's the full quote from the governor's website there about limiting cell phone use in schools. So far, so good. Heading over to this very suspicious story now. I mean, clearly, Gene Hackman's death. Now, when we first received this story, there was no foul play suspected, and then now we are calling this a suspicious death. You can see the headline from NBC News here, no obvious signs of gas leak, as this investigation does continue. So legendary actor Gene Hackman and his wife Betsy were found dead in separate rooms in their Santa Fe, New Mexico home. Now the death is being considered suspicious. So Hackman was 95 and his wife was 64, and they were found dead alongside with their dog as well, which I thought was kind of interesting. This search warrant says the deaths are suspicious enough in nature to require a thorough search and investigation. Okay, so this is the story that we're following. A lot of people I know, this is a talker. Everyone's kind of talking about this, what happened exactly, and of course we will have to wait for more information. This is a developing story for the coroner's report, etc., to learn more about Gene Hackman's suspicious death today. But I will say thank you so much for joining me for Fernandez Files. In normal tradition, just kind of want to take a quick look outside at the weather for you. Here's a look from our Blackstone camera. It looks beautiful out there. I won't bore you today with the weather because meteorologist Jade Steffens is about to get out here as well and chat with you, do her due diligence on the weather. Another shot from Children's Nebraska as we quickly look at that blue sky for you. And then lastly, a quick look at 144th and Dodge as we kind of wrap up. But traffic flowing smoothly out there, and hopefully more beautiful weather to come. But in the interim, just want to say thanks so much for joining me on Fernandez Files this afternoon, and we hope you'll stick with us for our first broadcast at 3 o'clock with Dave Zavolinsky. We'll see you then.